All right, so in example 2.26, we're interested in using vectors in an economics context. So a AAA party supply store sells invitations, party favors, decorations, and food service items such as paper plates and napkins. When AAA buys its inventory, it pays 25 cents per package for invitations and party favors. Decorations cost AAA 50 cents each, and food service items cost them 20 cents per package. AAA sells the invitations for $2.50 per package, and party favors for $1.50 per package. Decorations sell for $4.50 each, and food service items for $1.25 per package. During the month of May, AAA Party Supply Store sells 1,258 invitations, 342 party favors, 2,426 decorations, 1,354 food service items. So using vectors and dot products to calculate how much money they made during the sales of May, how much did the store make in profit? Okay, an absolute lot going on here. So let's go ahead and sort of break this down into columns. And so this is sort of where business majors get really comfortable using things like Excel, because these are the things that we're interested in. So here's our inventory. I'm going to make a list, I think, like this. So we have packages, packages of invitations, I'm sorry. So I'll write down invitations. So I'm just trying to rewrite the information available in this word problem a little bit nicer. So they pay, so their cost, right, is 25 cents, and also for party favors is also 25 cents. Okay, so what else? They pay 50 cents for decorations. And food service items cost 20 cents per package. So food is 20 cents. They sell invitations. Okay, so now let's take a look at how much they sell them for. So the invitations for $2.50, so 10 times as much. Party favors for $1.50. Decorations sell for $4.50 each, and food for $1.25. Okay. We also have the quantity that they've sold. So they've sold 1,258 invitations, 342 party favors, 2,426 decorations, and 1,354 food service items. So let's figure out how much money the store made in profit. Certainly a real-world application of vectors. Okay, so you should recall from economics that profit is essentially how much money we made minus how much money we spent. So I'm going to need to calculate how much we made, and I'm going to need to calculate how much we spent. All right, so what we made, everything from our quantity dotted with how much we sold it for, right? So let's go ahead and actually write these then as vectors. So I'm going to let C be our cost vector, 0.25, comma 0.25, comma 0.50, comma 0.20. And this is going to represent the money we spent, right? Or the money AAA spent. Costs of items to the party company. Okay? I'm going to let my vector S be how much we sold them for. Okay? So we sold them for $2.50, $1.50, $4.50, and $1.25. So we do want to make sure that everything horizontally matches up. If they gave us our information in the wrong order, we want to make sure that we fix it before we do this work. So this vector I've written out represents the amount that they sell these items for. And then I'm finally going to create a quantity column, how much of each item we have sold. So 1258. 342. 2426. And 1354. Okay. So if I was interested in figuring out how much money they spent buying invitations, I would do the 1258 times the 0.25. And if I wanted to know how much money they made selling invitations, I would do the 1258 times the 250. So when I take a look at that throughout all the different items, what I have here is a dot product between the quantity and the costs and the quantity and sold price. So if I'm interested in the profit, then what I want to do is take how much money I've made and subtract off how much I've spent. So the profit is going to equal our quantity vector times how much we made, right, for each of those items, minus our quantity vector dotted with how much we spent on each of those items. And so this is what we're going to need to calculate. I'm going to, I think it might be easier to do our quantity dotted with the difference, right? So I'm going to take advantage of that distributive property. And it makes sense as well, because if I'm spending 25 cents and I'm selling it for 250, I've made a profit of 225 on that item. So I've got my quantity vector times, let's go ahead and do the subtraction here. So the 250 minus the 0.25 is going to give me 2.25 for our, right, so that takes care of our first item. For our second item, so we've got the 150 we've sold it for minus the 25 cents we paid for it. For our third item, we have the 450 minus the 50 cents that we paid for it. And then for our fourth item, we have the $1.25 we're selling it for minus the 20 cents we paid for it. Okay, and now it's just a very simple dot product of 1258, 342, 2426, 1354, dotted with 225, 125, 4, 1.05. So, taking advantage of our handy dandy calculator, we are going to multiply the first terms together. 58 times 225. So we've made a profit of 2,830 and 50 cents on decorations. For our second item, we have the 342 times the 125 we've made on those. Our third item, we sold 24.26 for a profit of $4 each. And then finally for our food items, we've sold 1354 and we've made $1.05 on each of those. So adding this all together, we see the profit made was $14,000. Pretty nice. $383.70. So let's just kind of check our answer and make sure we haven't made a mistake. Okay, so they did CP and Q, so price, right? Instead of sale, like I did. That's fine. So they actually figured out the individual bits and then did the subtraction. But they got out the same answer as us. So fantastic, they've gotten the right answer, and our work is correct. All right, so So for the checkpoint now, we're told that the supply store decided to increase the price they charge for party favors to $2 per package. They also changed suppliers for their invitations, so they're now able to purchase invitations for only 10 cents per package. All of their other costs and prices remain the same. So if they sold these particular numbers of items in the month of June, let's also use the vectors and dot products to calculate these sales and profit for June. So I notice here that it says sales and profit, so we want to actually separate them and calculate them individually. So go ahead and pause here and tackle this checkpoint on your own.